We've all heard it before. Authenticity is the key to your online following. But when authenticity can be engineered, is it even possible to be authentic online? Let's think about it. Authenticity was made a marketing term. So many people now are touching on pain points.
That friggin' hurt.
They're saying authenticity means being vulnerable. Vulnerability and authenticity can be manufactured. And we can call this performative vulnerability, okay? Because there's so much that's happened in my life that I don't share. Not because I don't want to be vulnerable, but because I don't want to trauma dump on my audience. I gotta be honest with you right now, vulnerability is trendy because authenticity is the goal. I cannot believe somebody just started playing music outside my apartment right now. I'm gonna go ask him to turn it down and see what he says. Oh, that was Louis. He's so nice. He's so nice. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. That's a point about advocate for yourself authentically. If you get really nervous and anxious, this is where the self-work needs to come in. What I've learned throughout my life has led me to make these choices. Let me explain. I grew up until 6 years old. I lived in Seattle, Sedona, San Francisco, Austin, Texas. I had such a crazy life. My mother is a musician. She was traveling, trying to get out her music. And then I had to move in with my grandparents because they thought that wasn't cool for some reason. And I lived in a very, very small town after being in all those big cities all this time. And then I lost my voice. I did not want to speak, but I was also in like second, third grade when these jokes are not hitting right with these kids. And it took me so long to find my voice back. I used to cry instead of ask for what I wanted. Authenticity would be like somebody meeting you in person and them thinking to themselves, wow, you are exactly the same as you are online. Which I'm sure very, very few people can say, because most people, that's not the strategy that's gonna make them money. People don't care about authenticity in the way marketing gurus lead you to believe. A casual viewer isn't going to be scrolling and thinking,
wow, is this person lying to me?
Honestly, at this point in the internet, I think that we can assume that almost everybody is lying, and that's why people are pushing authenticity so much more. We know
people are renting mansions, renting cars, renting jewelry, renting venue, renting an Airbnb to try and make this content. They're getting free tickets, free PRs.
And making it seem like their lifestyle is just so awesome, when in reality they might be dealing with the hardest, toughest times that they've ever known in their entire lives. But the way they make money is through social media, and their brand is built off this high image of themselves. This creates fractures within, and that's only one example. Somebody's struggling so hard and they're showing it on camera and they're posting it, and then they're posting it and they're trying to share their struggle with the world, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. And then they put that feedback back into themselves and use it to judge themselves. Not because they weren't being authentic, but because they were being too vulnerable. Because they've been led to believe, we've been led to believe, that vulnerability equals authenticity equals content monetization strategy. And that couldn't be further from the case. Can someone be authentic and strategic? Is an action less real because there's a motive behind somebody doing it? And so I'm gonna bring it back to the core question. Is it possible to be authentic online? Let's go back to the example of the person who posts their struggle, gets no feedback. This person, you know, they're sad. They've been doing this a couple times and they've been getting that feedback, maybe even negative feedback. I gotta tell you, negative feedback's better than no feedback, because, you know, your ops are your biggest fans. This person who's not getting any feedback and content creation's actively making them feel worse, they're probably going to burn out quickly. Burnout might be the most honest signal we get, and yet we ignore it. Posting things that are authentic to you
doesn't mean that it's good.
Share some B-roll type videos. I really like the content, but Does that mean I deserve anything for doing something that I enjoy doing? No. One of the reasons why is because we're fighting with our internal tendencies, right? We're getting pulled by advice, but we're getting pulled by our truth to ourselves, our personality, our core identity. Because being authentic online does not mean having a wild card personality. Being authentic to yourself is the first step. And this is the deep work. Don't even think about who you're trying to make content for until you figure out who you are. You really should have a goal in mind. My goal is to help people get the confidence they need to do what they love in life. It used to be help people have the confidence to wear the fashion they want. However, I'm going to say this once and I'm not going to say it again. Authenticity is not about personality. It's about alignment. We hear this word being thrown around a lot. Resonance, alignment. And maybe these are hype words, maybe these are keywords, but they do explain the feeling within, like not even that you should have. If you start feeling like aligned with what you're doing, your beliefs, and how you handle what you're doing, that's coherence. And if your brain
wants the same thing as your body, as the same thing as your heart, as the same thing as your nervous system, as the same thing as your voice, as the same thing as what other people gather from you,
that's alignment. And we love alignment. There is a difference between authenticity and identity. Let's say you're nervous, you're anxious, you don't want to post because you feel like it's not authentic. I implore you to just use your voice in one tiny way every day. This authentic branding is also, connected to having a relatability on camera. As a society, what we are being rewarded for is not authenticity. It's legibility. Who are our examples of authentic creators? These people probably have years and years of practice being authentic on camera, aka appearing genuine, because they're comfortable enough to talk to the camera like they're talking to a friend. That leads me to the next section. Can we be authentic and strategic? Let's assume our online persona is a culmination of our creative work. It's something that we want to share with the world, or maybe you just want to make a little more money and you have an interest and you want to make money online. Look up the advice, it says be authentic. But my question is, can someone be authentic and strategic? If a nice person is only doing the nice thing to get something in return for themselves, are they still being nice? What if the reward that they're getting is a sense of purpose and feeling good about themselves because they know they helped someone else? Is there a difference in that? There's a sense of fulfillment that I get personally when I post a video. However, if I was just doing it and wanting people to buy things from me, I would totally approach it a different way. Because literally these are content strategies that people are using to just appear authentic online because they want money. Obviously, I don't care about that because I've been making videos since 2007. However, does that mean that I am completely being authentic all the time just because I know that I get a sense of fulfillment from making videos? Like for me, I like external validation, but it's, what's better than external validation? Internal validation. Honesty is not always rewarded, but internally it is less traumatic. Because honestly, going against your true values can traumatize you. And being authentically you does require some adaptation because a lot of people don't know themselves genuinely. Let's say you've done that inner work, you know your core values, and now you're trying to be authentic online. Because that's what people say gets the most loyal followers, fan base, community, tribe, a tribe called Quest, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. The truth of the matter is, even these pushers of authenticity, they're really only perceived to be authentic because we don't know what's going on behind this lens on the other side, or at another time, or in another timeline. We don't know what's going on, you know? And so being authentic, appearing on camera, really, it's a skill issue, not really a vulnerability issue or an issue with a personality type. It's a skill issue, and a lot of these people who appear super genuine and authentic just have a lot of practice talking to a camera. Trust is something that can be manufactured. Maybe you don't trust me to tell you if you can be authentic online or not, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm asking the question, is it possible to be authentic online? Convincing authenticity is often more powerful than genuine authenticity. And that's just the truth about building an online community and about making money online. It's just the truth. If you do want to practice authenticity online, it doesn't matter how much time you spent in front of the camera, okay? Think about your values, behaviors, your core identity. So your online presence, it's not a persona, but an extension of yourself. Not a mask to hide behind. So close to being done, holy shit. So authenticity, we know, is like, on our inner selves, it's alignment between our core beliefs, our values, and our identity. Online authenticity isn't about being believed. It's about being able to live with what you made. I would go a little bit further and not just being able to live with what you made, but like be proud of what you made. When it comes to monetization, incentives change. You're going from a hobbyist to trying to make money. Does your authenticity change? Does it get any less? The myth here is that being loud, punchy, and crazy is real authenticity. But you know how many people are introverts? You know how many people are quiet? You like researching new topics, you have a special interest, and your goal also is to be able to make money from this special interest. It makes a lot of sense to do just explaining essay videos where you don't have to show your face. There's no pressure to look a certain way, even talk a certain way, because honestly, you can use an AI voice and still be authentic. That's kind of a hot take. Also, you know, AI and the element of water, we need to be wary of that, of course. However, you can really develop this like very trustworthy and authentic brand based off of your actual knowledge. That will not delete the AI channels, and these are the ones that authentic people like us are competing against. Is authenticity the output, or is authenticity the input? Can your goal be monetization and you still be authentic online? Is compromise inevitable? I don't know. I haven't got there yet. What do you think? Bye, pop stars.